Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Switchball. On this episode we are taking care of the 5th level of the lava world. And we're also taking care of the 6th level too, but that's going to be later. Both of these levels are actually kind of short. They consist of only 3 separate sections. But the levels are pretty tough. And the last section of level 6 is definitely tough. This section, which is the middle section of level 5, is pretty straightforward, but a lot can go wrong. All we need to do is roll up here as a steel ball, and we'll flip a switch, and this will knock a stone ball down our secondary railing. And we need to push ourselves into these turbines so they'll actually stop, and it will allow the stone ball to pass right through. And you have plenty of time for that, so it's not too stressing. Now the last checkpoint in the last level, you're not going to have much time at all, so it's interesting, but we'll get there soon enough. Soon enough, we need to roll down here and land on this platform and actually push this crate out of the way. We need to constantly keep pushing on it. Otherwise, the crate will kind of swing around and will stop the stone ball. And you'll have to do that section all over again. Now we need to do it one more time. And then once we're done with that, we need to just roll down the middle, transform into a marble ball. We're not done with the checkpoint yet, but we have plenty of time for this section. You'll notice the stone ball isn't going very fast. And we have these 2 time switches here. And what you'll need to do is just sort of switch them off, or on rather, as soon as the stone ball passes by. And you've got plenty of time for that. And then once that's done, the stone ball will turn on a magnet, we'll pull the metal crates out of the way, and you're done. Now the next checkpoint, you need to be a rubber ball for the entire checkpoint. The entire stretch of the level, that is. And of course excuse me. I made a lot of mistakes in this level, so I've done quite a bit of cutting out on this level. This section actually probably took me 20 to 30 minutes to complete, I think. And I did it the long way too. I kind of want to do this section first because you don't get a whole lot of time to set up what you need to set up at the end of this checkpoint. And you'll see in a moment. You'll see over here also that we have 2 extra switches that we'll need to switch eventually. So it's kind of nice if you go ahead and do this and set this up early so that when the ball gets around this section of the railing, you can just kind of chill out and wait and get a little bit of a breather, which is what I'd recommend. You could probably do this as the ball is rolling down, but I mean, this takes so much time that I'd rather do it early. Especially if you're not trying to race through the level. Also, for whatever reason you accidentally push the balls over too far, which you can do, the balls will reset themselves. So you can make a mistake here without a problem. And that's another good thing of doing this early. You can do this at your leisure. You don't have to worry about that ball rolling down. And if you look at it, there's not much time there anyway. And an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It really is. Now we've got to work our way back to the beginning of the checkpoint. And you'll kind of see the puzzle that we need to take care of soon. The timing is not that tight on this puzzle, but in the next level, the last puzzle, the timing is very tight. Now what we need to do here is we could get on that railing there, but we have to push this ball forward with the fan. And then what we need to do, and I did make a lot of mistakes here, that's why I made a cut there, is to roll up here, and we'll need to switch this fan off as the ball rolls past. And you can just kind of sit on the switch there, and that's what I'd recommend doing. Then puff yourself up and over and stay on this switch, because as a rubber ball, it's easy to not stay on the switch. It'll want to fall off. So you have to constantly make sure it's on the switch, thanks to the physics engine here. This next section is easy compared to what we just had to do. We get pushed way far ahead, so we have plenty of time to set up this next section. And it is kind of tedious here. You're waiting for the ball to show up, you know. And once that's done, you have just enough time to push this up. And if you hit the switch at the right time, there's a little bit of leeway there, so it's not too bad. You'll see here, now when this ball is looping around, you don't have a whole hell of a lot of time to get those balls there on the railing so that the ball can actually roll on top. And I apologize here, I really couldn't get the camera angle set up so that you could easily see what was going on, because I wanted to go ahead and set up this right here, because I didn't have a whole lot of time to get this right once the ball is visible. And plus this gives me a time to kind of rest for the next stretch. And here comes the ball. So you don't have a whole lot of time, so you need to set that up ahead of time. Unless you're really skilled, and if you're able to do that, then more power to you. I'm not. Fortunately, we've got just enough time to do this. The timing is not that bad at this section, and I almost missed it too. And then once we're done there, guess what happens? Does the exact same thing it did earlier in the level, pushes the metal crates out of the way, and on we go. And that takes care of this level. Like I said, this level is not that long, but it is tough. It is dense. Now the next level that we're about to face, the final level in Switchball, is indeed brutal. The first puzzle's not too bad, I don't think. But the next puzzle takes a lot of time to practice, and you'll see that. Now, level 6 begins kind of the same way all the other levels do. And we have two options of getting down here. And you could turn into an express ball. You'll see over here we have two transformers. One is a magnet and one is an express ball. You don't really have to transform into either one. What I like to do is just roll up here. Well, you could bounce across, but I went ahead and turned it into an express ball here. I think in one of my supplementary takes of this video, I just bounced across. And it saves a little bit of time, but not that much, really. And get used to bouncing on these things, because we're going to have a lot of them to deal with. But thankfully, at this point, you're going to have a lot of practice with them. Now, this section right here, what we need to do is roll the crate across. And if you roll a crate across, or start rolling it, as soon as that first stone ball gets out of your way, you'll be able to make it past the first 4 stone balls without a problem. Then you can rest and go through the next one. So there is a little bit of timing involved here. And I also noticed in this level, if you wait too long, and if you're practicing it for about an hour and a half or so, the level actually slows down to a crawl, and I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's because these stone balls keep adding up on the screen, but it looks like they're disappearing, so I'm not really sure if it's just the problem with the physics engine or what. So I had to keep restarting the level every 45 minutes to an hour to practice the next section. At any rate, this next section, I'm talking about the section after this, rather. But this section, where we're on right now, we just need to push this crate forward. And I want it towards this section, just, towards the left, just in case the stone ball hits the crate. It won't cause too much of a problem for me. And there you go. Now this will turn off the magnet so we can roll forward. And that's the easy part of the level. Even though that part took me about 25 minutes to get right. This next part took me about 2.5 hours to 3 hours to practice and get correct. And what you're seeing is the very final take of when I actually got it 100% correct. What we need to do is transform into a bouncing ball here. And I apologize for the camera angle here. I tried to zoom out as much as I can so you can see everything, but you should be able to see everything without a problem. As soon as we hit this switch, immediately go, because that ball is going to start rolling, and there's only going to be 2 times where we can actually stop the ball and get any sort of rest whatsoever. So it is kind of like balance level 13, but at least you have the ability to rest. So I would say balance level 13 is more difficult. Once you hit this switch, keep going, and keep going, and keep going. Hit this switch, and then stay on this switch. And this is going to be your secondary resting point. This is going to be your last resting point before the end of the game. As soon as this switch is off, you have to go. And you have to keep going because that ball will not stop. And here we go. The easiest way to do this is to bounce on this platform. Then as soon as this platform starts lowering just a little bit, you'll see right there, move forward, bounce on there so you don't bounce so much. Knock that off. And here's where the timing is really tight. Go in here and transform. Express ball yourself as soon as you're on that little ramp. I'm going to change camera angle here so you can make sure you're right in the middle. And as soon as this passes over you, move, 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 move. Express ball right towards the end so you fall over here. And look how much time we have here. We have probably about 3/4 of a second there. Now once that's done, the hard part of the level is completed. We're in the home stretch now. You can still make a mistake here, but you know, the hard part of the level again is done. At this point, just zoom yourself across, and this switch controls this propeller, and we thankfully have plenty of time at this point. And just roll on top as soon as that propeller's towards the end, and we're done. And at this point, when I was doing this take and I finally got it right, I was like, I've really got to be careful here. I don't want to fall off. So I'm kind of taking my time. Just putting along here. And that switch knocks over a stone ball, which knocks over this plank, and ends the level. And trust me, I made that level look a hell of a lot easier than it really is. And that completes the game Switchball. So thank you so much for watching the entire Let's Play if you did, or certain segments if that was only what we were interested in. I do want to clarify that I don't really hate this game. I actually like it. So if I said anything like that, I apologize. I'd probably rate this game about a 7 or 8 out of 10. The puzzles are good. They're not that challenging, but they are difficult. I would definitely recommend playing this game if you're ever, you know, curious about this game or want to try it out. It is pretty fun, I'll admit. But anyways, thank you again for watching this Let's Play. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.